Hey, Chiefs Kingdom. Before we get into today's show, get subscribed to the Chiefs Report. We're closing in on 16,000 subs. I'd like to get there before the NFL draft, but we're just over 500 away. So hit that big red button and subscribe if you haven't already. More subscribers means more videos that we can do for you guys. Share that link with a friend, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. If you sub, we'll have more content for you guys very, very soon. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Let's get into a Chiefs rumor around the left tackle position. And could Lucas Niang, the guy who opted out last year, who was a rookie out of TCU, be an option at left tackle for Kansas City? Well, the Chiefs had a press conference on Monday, and Andy Reid talked about Lucas Niang as a legitimate top candidate to be the left tackle for Kansas City, which is very, very interesting. Now, certainly the left tackle position is up for grabs at this point, right? Kansas City made an aggressive push for Trent Williams. That did not work out, but as I've told you guys for a while, I think Lucas Niang is more of a right tackle. Here's what Andy Reid had to say on this one. Said, quote, "He looked like he had some potential for that when we had him last, obviously before the opt-out. Brett Veach is always keeping his eyes open. We're always going to keep our eyes open." Essentially saying, yeah, we got some options right now, but, we could certainly look to sign someone very, very soon. Lucas Niang did not play left tackle in college. I am a TCU alum. I watched most of his games in college. Never played left tackle. Strictly a right tackle in college. Doesn't mean he can't play left tackle, but there was more chatter that he would kick inside than he would move from right to left tackle. So I find this very, very interesting as you kind of look at where the offensive line depth chart sits right now. Your interior is set. It's going to be Joe Thuney, Austin Blythe, and either Laurent Duvernay-Tardif or Kyle Long. However, Andy Reid did mention Kyle Long as a potential option at left tackle as well, along with Mike Remmers and Andrew Wylie. Gross on those final two options, but Long and Niang being mentioned there is very, very interesting to me, and especially for Niang's case, who not only did he never play left tackle in college, he's taken 0 snaps in the NFL. So for him to take his first snaps as the starting left tackle of the Kansas City Chiefs, that still seems unlikely to me, but it's fascinating that Andy Reid is at least mentioning it and acting like that it is a legitimate possibility. Now, these were the 4 names that he mentioned on the roster that could be left tackle candidates. Obviously, Lucas Niang. He mentioned Mike Remmers. That would be bad. Kyle Long he mentioned as well, who has strictly been a right guard outside of 1 season at right tackle in his career. He hasn't played any left tackle to my knowledge. If he has, it was in a pinch. Andrew Wylie as well, who he's more of a guard tackle hybrid type. I don't think you want him playing left tackle, but he did mention him. So I don't know that you have a super strong option. I would still rather look at someone in the draft or a veteran in free agency. But if you had to pick one out of these 4 current guys, who would you pick to start at left tackle? Type LN for Lucas Niang, type KL for Kyle Long, type MR for Mike Remmers, type AW for Andrew Wylie. I guess I would pick Lucas Niang because that probably means that he could give you some stability long-term over there, but I got to be honest, I did not see this coming as a realistic option. So get your votes in: LN, MR, KL, or AW. Today's show is presented by the Newsbreak app. We have sponsored up with Newsbreak here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports, and it's a great app, and I encourage you guys to download it at chatsports.com/ChiefsNB. If you want to keep up with local news, weather, politics, pop culture, anything going on with your community, the Newsbreak app is the perfect spot to do it because it's going to sync up with your zip code, and your feed is going to be littered with stories going on in your zip code and on into your city as well. I use it on a daily basis, getting caught up with everything happening here in Dallas and in Fort Worth. What Newsbreak also offers you guys is more videos from us here at the Chiefs Report. We've been able to upload some of our videos over there as well. So if you want to find more stuff from us at the Chiefs Report, chatsports.com/ChiefsNB. Keep up with all things local news. Another great thing about this, you don't have to download a bunch of different apps or outlets where you keep up with your local news and sports content. It's all in one app with Newsbreak. So I encourage you guys to download it. You can find sports and regular news stories going on in your communities. Chatsports.com/ChiefsNB. Let's get into some Chiefs news here as Alex Smith has retired from the National Football League. Maybe not a huge surprise, but I think he did scour the free agent market and probably realized he was not going to be a starter in 2021, so he ultimately announced his retirement on Monday on his Instagram page. And hey, what can we say about the former Kansas City Chief? His comeback last season, nothing short of incredible, as he won NFL Comeback Player of the Year. After numerous surgeries, he comes back. He helps lead Washington to the playoffs. He calls it a career after 14 NFL seasons, including 5 with Kansas City, and what I would argue were 5 very good seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs. The guy's an inspiration. I mean, he was told he might die. Didn't die. He was told he may never be able to walk again. Well, he walked again. He told, there's no way you're going to play football again. He played. He was told, okay, you're back, but there's no way you could start and actually have an impact. He did. He led the Washington football team to the playoffs this year. It's inspirational. The guy never gave up. You got to love what we saw from Alex Smith these past 24 months on his journey back to the football field. Salute to him as he calls it a career after 14 NFL seasons. Patrick Mahomes, during his presser on Monday, had this to say about it. With the injury he had to lead his team to the playoffs, that shows you the type of player he is. I'm just grateful for the time I had with him. He really helped me be the quarterback I am today. Andy Reid also had a funny little joke in there as well. Said, hey, if he gets into coaching, I get first dibs on him. And, of course, that's been rumored in the past. Maybe he could come back to the Chiefs as a quarterback's coach. We'll see what he does in the near and long-term future. But I just want to continue to salute what this guy did to get back to the football field. Sure, the stats aren't going to jump off the page here, but his leadership and his impact in Washington last year can't be understated. That's why he won NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Guys, they thought his leg was going to be amputated. He had like 17 surgeries, and he came back to the NFL and led his team to the playoffs. That is absolutely sensational for Alex Smith. I commend him on an excellent career and on his journey to never giving up. If you love Alex Smith, which, hey, we all should, right? Like this video. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon for us. More likes equals more support for Alex Smith. So if you're a big fan of AS11, go ahead and hit that like button. Now, obviously, a big chunk of his career was with Kansas City as well, and sure, there were some disappointing playoff losses while Alex Smith was in Kansas City, but I would argue 5 of his best years were with the Chiefs, playing under Andy Reid, and he really helped revitalize this Chiefs franchise, in my opinion. The combination of Andy Reid getting this head coaching job and Alex Smith getting on board to play under Andy Reid, they really won a bunch of games together, 50-plus wins. He played some of his best football in Kansas City, and I was actually on board with the idea of bringing him back as a backup this year behind Patrick Mahomes just because of how great he is as an asset in the locker room and on the sidelines and how great that would have been. But I think he was only going to keep playing if he thought he had a chance to start somewhere, and it seemed pretty unlikely that that was going to be the case. But a great career for Alex Smith. Don't think he'll be in Canton by any means, but his story this past year and a half, 2 years, has been one of the best to follow in the NFL, and for him to get back to playing, a great story nonetheless. What is your favorite Alex Smith memory in Kansas City? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Again, 5 great years he had with the Chiefs. So give us your favorite memory on Alex Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll start more news here. We do have a Patrick Mahomes injury update, at least a relative update, as he spoke with the media on Monday like we mentioned. He says he's progressing well. He had surgery back in February. He believes he'll be back on the field before the end of this offseason. I wouldn't say him or Andy Reid gave a hardcore specific update, but 2 months in, it sounds like everything is on schedule. Mahomes even threw in a tidbit that he believes he's ahead of schedule, which that is a very, very good sign. Here's what Andy Reid had to say about it. He's got flexibility in that toe. It's not a real fun thing to do with that. It seems like a small thing, but that toe was rather large and stiff before the surgery, and after the surgery, he's really worked at getting that right. Basically saying he's rehabbing it. He's able to move around a little bit better. It's not just stiff stiff anymore like it was toward the end of last season when he had that turf toe issue, which is why he had surgery. This is what I've said all along, and I'll continue to say it. I think we'll see Patrick Mahomes in training camp full go. Maybe he's back before then for some of the OTA stuff and whatnot. We'll see, how much of that there is this offseason, as a lot of NFL teams are opting out of voluntary workouts, but we'll see if OTAs still take place before training camp. I could be ready to rock come June, July when training camp gets going in July, and I've got no worries about Patrick Mahomes moving forward with his mobility, with his ability to drive off that back foot. I got no issues. The surgery went well by all accounts, and he's progressing very, very nicely. Before we sign off, who is ready for football season? Type me in the comments if you are. I know I am. I know we are here at the Chiefs Report. Got to get some redemption after that Super Bowl loss. It'll be here before we know it. If you're ready to rock, type me in the comments, and we'll see you next time.